The United States refused to sign it. Why? Well, there are several.
Funny, so the whole, just about the rest of the world was all agreeing to something finally.
Yeah.
Here come the U.S. saying no.
No.
We ain't doing that one. No, I don't know
no
what
longer
that
your
is.
colony.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
And we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Most places in the world, the road sign for no stopping, as in don't stop your car here, looks something like this. In Austria, it looks like this. In Belgium, it looks like this. Slightly different shades of blue, but basically the same. India's looks like this, Mauritius's looks like this, in a few countries there are these cute white borders, Japan's looks like this, slightly different angle, but basically the same. Pretty much every country in the world has universally decided.
You know, this is like driver's ed test all over again.
Yes, with all the signs.
I'm waiting for you to be like, Dion, I aced mine on the first try. I know all these signs off the bat.
100%.
And here I am like, this actually look like a railroad track.
I was going to say that. It
look like a railroad track. Like, when you see one of those, I would have got the answer wrong. That would have been like, but you still got to stop when you see this, though.
I mean,
or look both ways.
It'll tell me something about to happen in the intersection or something.
Usually that's like a caution light to go with this.
Yeah.
To slow down and look both ways.
Yeah, the blue is kind of blinding a little bit from our angle.
Yeah.
Sign for no stopping is a blue circle outlined in red with a red X through it. In the United States, the sign for no stopping looks like this. And it's not the only example. Most countries' sign for speed limits looks like this. The US's looks like this. And how about the sign for road narrows? The rest of the world? America. The list goes on. And the question is, why? In a technical sense, the car was invented in 1886 in Germany by a guy named Carl Benz. But in a patriotic sense, the car was invented in 1908 in Detroit, Michigan by a guy named Henry Ford. Henry Ford loved two things: being anti-Semitic and producing cars at a scale and at cost that made them an actual, viable means of transportation for people, as opposed to previous car models that were essentially just novelties. Soon, its manufacturing dominance turned the United States of America into the car capital of the world, which soon also made it into the road capital of the world. A fact that everyone thought was great and continues to think is great and has generated no controversy or existential urbanist crises whatsoever. Early road signs, much like early roads, were somewhat eclectic and decentralized, often just created by and maintained by private automobile clubs. But in 1927, the American Association of State Highway Officials, or ASHU, published the compactly named Manual and Specifications for the Manufacture, Display, and Erection of U.S. Standard Road Markers and Signs, or Massmediamersum, which, as you might suspect, created specifications for the manufacture, display, and erection of U.S. Standard Road Markers and Signs. Then, in 1930, a different group, the National Conference on Street and Highway Safety, or NCSHUS, published the more urban-focused Manual on Street Traffic Signs, Signals, and Markings, or MOSSAM. Seeing as having two standardization standards wasn't a particularly standardized standard, in 1931, a joint committee was formed, which ultimately gave birth to a beautiful bouncing baby boy that we call the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, a modified version of which we still use today. The original 1935 MCCUD laid out such hits as the octagonal stop sign, although it was yellow at the time, one-way streets, railroad crossings, in addition to specifying stuff like fonts, post designs, and of course, everyone's favorite, minimum vehicular volumes warrant for fixed time signals. Now it's 1951, and what's that sound I hear? Oh man, it's the rest of the world, and guess what? They have cars now. What's that other sound I hear? Oh man, it's the newly formed and not yet notoriously ineffective United Nations, and they want to develop a worldwide standard for road signs so that people driving in foreign countries don't see a sign saying railroad crossing, not know what that means, and then get pancaked into oblivion by Thomas and friends. So the UN set up an experiment in a few countries and 5 US locations: Ohio State Route 104 near Columbus, US Route 250 and Virginia State Route 53 near Charlottesville, Minnesota State Highway 101 near Minneapolis, and some various other roads in New York, where they displayed road signs from a number of different countries to see which were most effective. And not surprisingly, it turned out that Americans, still riding the intoxicating high of World War II propaganda and American exceptionalism, did not take kindly to European-looking triangles telling them how to drive.
Child, listen. What I have found so interesting about all of the videos while we're comparing the United States to something about Europe, it's always a little back and forth.
It's a lot of back and forth.
I don't think. I was gonna say a joke, but I know our European supporters gonna be like,
right? Would it hit as a joke? Would it land like that?
It would be a joke for
I'll
us.
laugh.
But
I know it's gonna be you.
nah, I ain't gonna say it. I'm just. Oh, thanks.
I want to hear.
Thank
I
you,
want to hear
babe.
the
Thank
joke.
No, I'm not gonna do it
Next time.
I'm just saying.
Try to get it out for y'all next time.
I think it's just steals. And I'm not gonna do it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do it.
It's fair.
But anyway, so they was just let's play this. Let's see if this will work.
Yeah.
People getting into
Just going back and forth
yeah.
with the signs they had then.
Yeah, I don't want to say they was getting into, having little hit or misses.
Having a little faith.
Hit or misses.
Let's say
Yes.
a little faith.
Yes, a
Yeah.
little faith.
Yeah, a little of that. Yeah, no, you go first. Yeah,
Right.
that's that type of
What
stuff.
does this mean? Sometimes we have those moments.
No,
No, because sometimes, although I know all of the signs, got 100 plus.
That
100 plus.
should go.
100%. Okay, at 16. Okay, so I know all the signs. But I feel like there are some newer signs that come out. And you're like, what is this? What does this mean? We have those moments.
They need to update the signs that say no U-turn. Because if I can't U-turn, just let me see the sign. Because when I U-turn and I get pulled over for U-turn, I ain't see a sign that said no U-turn. But they
Right.
be like, well, the traffic rule is. And I be like, nah, G.
Nah, we
I'ma
should be
need an
able to
update.
do it.
Yeah.
If we don't see no traffic
No traffic,
coming,
no
we
nothing.
should be able to do
I
it.
should be free to do the whole U-turn.
Take a look at this gem of an article from the Mansfield News Journal titled Ohioans Tell Europe to Leave Its Signs, which includes such quotes as, I just don't see why we have to take any advice from Europe about our highway signs, and if I saw a Russian sign, I certainly wouldn't pay any attention to it. Nonetheless, the experiment continued, data was collected, and ultimately that data would later grow into the 1968 Vienna Convention on Road Signs and Signals, a C-tier Vienna Convention that created a universal road sign system, which has been joined by 69 countries and today governs the road sign scene in most of the world. It's the reason that all the no-stopping signs look the same. But adding to their long, illustrious history of spearheading international treaties that they then refused to sign, the United States refused to sign it. Why? Well, there are several.
Funny, so the whole, just about the rest of the world was all agreeing to something, finally.
Yeah.
Here come the U.S. saying, no,
Nah.
we ain't doing that one. No,
We
I
are
don't know
no
what that
longer your
is.
colony.
We ain't gonna, nah, it ain't gonna happen.
First off, America's number one, and nobody tells us what to do, least of all our own federal government. See, technically, legally, roads are under the purview of the states, not the federal government, and so the federal government signing a treaty telling them how to handle their roads is a bit legally murky. Although apparently not that murky, seeing as the 1966 Highway Safety Act was able to force all states into compliance with the Mutkid using a clever little constitutional workaround called extortion, threatening to pull 10% of their federal highway funding if states
they
didn't
gonna
comply.
take the mon- they
Second,
gonna
at the
throw
time of the
money in there.
treaty, the US was starting to work on what would ultimately become the interstate highway system, which they felt would require a lot of breathless, fast-paced innovation in the rough and tumble world of road signage, and they didn't want to be bogged down by the strictures of a treaty. And third, given that the US had the most robust grooming history in the world, Americans were pretty attached to their existing signs, and they didn't much want them to change. This was proven in the 1970s when the Mutkid tried implementing the Vienna Convention's focus on image-based instead of America's more text-based signs, which turned out to be a terrible failure, with drivers so confused about what things like this meant that we felt we needed to add back in the text explaining that the thing in front of them was a drawbridge, not a sick ramp for
kinda
kids.
easy.
In 1978, the Mutkid quietly removed its language about preferring image-based signs. I should also mention that yes, there are a number of other countries that haven't joined the Vienna Convention, including China, Canada, Australia, and Ethiopia. So yes, not all other countries' signs look the same. So all the people with the comments already typed up about how this video is too US-centric and I'm a self-obsessed, egoist American road sign file, you know what? Actually, go for it. It increases common engagement.
Okay. Yeah, that's that, bro. That's the video. So, signs. I don't know how difficult signs may be for any people who just driving around getting what they gotta get, but I feel like one of my favorite ones are the ones that say if there's a curve coming up.
I mean, it
I be
has some
flying.
triangles.
I be getting where I gotta get, and they say there's a curve coming up
Not
to.
triangles, arrows.
It's a. Oh, here you go. It's
Arrows.
a curve. It shows.
Yes, it'll have
it
like
shows
the 3 if
a
it's
little.
deep.
Right, but I'm talking about the little.
Or a longer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm picturing it in my head, and I'm just saying a longer. Yeah, the arrow.
I remember just driving out here to Texas, man. Like
Yeah.
we seen the arrows in the country fields and all that stuff, so it's like interesting.
Yeah, I feel like maybe the words work better for them, like back in the day, like way back in the day, because a lot of people didn't have like the rules and regulations that we had when
Right.
we had to go to driving schools. You know, this was people who just got in the car and started driving.
Facts, yeah.
You know, so they needed that type of. The
Or they
words.
could just put both.
Yeah.
For both people. You got the word play, and then a couple feet afterwards, you got the actual sign.
Okay. Okay.
But then they're going to have to update the driver's edge
there'll
book.
be more money going out.
Wow, putting another fork in the ground, that's it?
Them signs cost. You see how big them signs is? They look small, but they cost.
I feel that.
That's our money.
Mm.
That they use.
Hey, got a point. Got a point.
Yeah, well, this was an interesting video. Let us know what y'all think. I feel like it's a good, you know, for when we're in countries that are foreign to us, and when people come to our country that may be foreign to them, and they drive, you know, if those signs are similar, they'll understand better.
But if it's in words, we can't read what they got in Germany. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some
You got a
words in
point
different
there.
countries is going to say
You got
something
a
totally
point.
different. I prefer the picture. I think I can use common sense to say that
have a
means
point.
some ducks could be passing if I just pay attention to what's on the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you really do have a point, though.
Like, yeah, 100%.
People who may not be able to read English. Wow. Okay.
She cares so much.
What are you thinking about?
Nah, I feel you though, because I got you.
Alright, so we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.